My name is Meehan. I'm a candidate for the United States Congress in the 7th Congressional District here in Pennsylvania. Thank you for being here this morning. I've called you to this place because, regrettably, this is a crime scene. From inside this Capitol, massive and illegal political operation was conducted on state time with taxpayer money. Legislative employees performed campaign duties during working hours. The public money was used to pay bonuses to campaign workers. We now know that scheme in operation will be known as the bonus scheme. The betrayal of public trust that took place in this building triggered cries for reform. And some of the loudest voices were those of politicians who have since been rendered mute by their own records. One such elected official said that I hope to be part of a new class of legislators that are intent on real government reform and making state house more ethical and more service-oriented. My opponent, legislator Bryan Lentz, pledged those words in 2006. 4 years later, he is silent. I'm here today to give a voice against these taxpayer ripoffs and to call for accountability. We've now reached the point where speculation is unnecessary. There are far fewer mysteries. The facts have been laid bare before us. The evidence and the grand jury testimony made public in connection with the bonus gate trial lead directly to the front door of the Lentz campaign offices. An employee of the House Democrat Communications Office named Ann Collis received a taxpayer-funded bonus of almost $10,000. She did significant campaign work on the Lentz campaign in 2006. He was listed as a point of contact in more than 41 press releases soon after he was elected to the State House. This wasn't some anonymous campaign worker stuffing envelopes in some out-of-the-way cubicle. She was deployed to the Lentz campaign by House Democrat Campaign Committee Representative Mike Meehan, who will be sentenced for his role in bonus gate on Friday. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Other employees who received healthy bonuses, including those given to so-called rock stars, a rating given to particular taxpayer-paid staffers who performed extraordinary campaign efforts on behalf of the Democratic Party. The Lentz campaign was one of the primary celebrity beneficiaries of the Democratic taxpayer-funded campaign operation. And to date, legislator Lentz has yet to provide any answers, challenging him to do so. Did he not know that Ann Collis was working on his campaign? Did he not know that Ann Collis was working out of his headquarters? Did he not know that she received the bonus? Did he not know that bonuses were given to rock stars? What did he share with the investigators, if anything, once this all became known to others? Quite simply, in the whole realm of bonus gate, as this leads right to the door of the campaign of Bryan Lentz, what did he know and when did he know it? Bryan Lentz received more than $250 million from the corrupt Mike Meehan-led House Democrat Campaign Committee in 2006 from fundraising done at times inside the state capitol on state time using state employees. Does Mr. Lentz plan on returning any of that money, or the portion of it, linked to Meehan? If Mr. Lentz's recent history tells us anything, these thorny questions will remain unanswered. These aren't riddles, yes or no. These are yes or no questions that require direct responses. The silence that speaks volumes about the old school corrupt, get along politics practiced by Bryan Lentz. He was a Vince Fumo and Mike Meehan rubber stamp for corruption, tax and spend policies in Harrisburg, and will be the same in Nancy Pelosi in Washington. Tax, spend, waste, and sadly, tolerance for corruption. The genuine reformer doesn't wait until it's convenient to demonstrate he's serious. Bryan Lentz has a track record of taking his leave somewhat slowly doesn't serve his interests. He said he was the first to call on House Majority Leader Todd to resign from a leadership position. What Mr. Lentz doesn't say is he already decided not to run for re-election to the State House when he called for Eachus to quit. It seems Bryan Lentz waited to challenge his own party leadership when he no longer needed it to be re-elected. But when House Majority Leader Bill Ruiz's chief of staff in 2008 was arrested, many Democrats in July and August of that year called on Ruiz to step down from his leadership position. Bryan Lentz refused. It might have cost him something to do so. I can tell you from my experience as a district attorney and as a U.S. attorney, that very often doing the right thing is inconvenient. It might even hurt you or damage you, but you do it anyway. Being a real reformer is difficult if you realize that the strong wind is only when you try to walk against it. Too often, Bryan Lentz turned his back on the challenge, and like so many others, allowed himself to be carried along, landing only when the ground was familiar and soft. You can't change Washington with a man who refused to change Harrisburg. Thank you.
Curious that the information here, the dates on the various documents involved, obviously go back at least 3-4 years. So if something had been done wrong, why isn't Mr. Lentz under investigation or behind bars? Attorney General Corbett obviously has taken actions against any number of lawmakers. So why, in this case, this information out here has nothing happened? Does that suggest there wasn't a crime, or that the Attorney General has looked the other way?
I don't know in respect with regard to whether a crime was committed in this particular case. What I do know is people are going to jail for what happened in Gate. Somebody will be sentenced on Friday. And the purpose behind those actions was largely to get people elected. And the activities of that committee go right to the front door of the campaign of Bryan Lentz during that political cycle. Now, those people were those who were involved in the Gate operation. I want to know what he knew about those activities of those campaign workers during the period of time.
My question specifically is, if in fact something had been done by Mr. Lentz that was inappropriate, perhaps even criminal, would we have seen something from Attorney General Corbett by now specifically related to Bryan Lentz?
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's a good question to ask Attorney General Tom Corbett, a good question to ask Bryan Lentz. What did he tell any investigators during the period of time that they have spoken to him? I think that's one of the things we'd like to get answers to ourselves.
Doesn't that suggest that nothing untoward happened if no action has been taken by the Attorney General Corbett against Mr. Lentz?
If you're saying that nothing criminal has happened, I do not know the answer to that. If you do say that people have gone to jail for the conduct associated with Gate, and the purpose behind all of that conduct was for those people to use those resources to get people elected. The fruit of that poisonous tree goes directly to a number of people, and one of the specific beneficiaries of that poisonous tree is legislator Bryan Lentz. I want to know what he knew about the conduct of those people, his campaign, in that cycle.